Hello, hello, my beauties and bees. Welcome once again to Cryptic Corner. I'm your host, Miss Bumblebee, and we are going to be exploring the unexplained, the supernatural, the paranormal and hidden, the mysterious, the alien, the accursed, and the forbidden, as always, here with you on Cryptic Corner. So thank you so much for sticking around. Now, most of the time I try to stick to things that the people claim are real, whether they're folklore or misidentification of science or they're deliberate hoaxes. I try to focus on things that people are claiming are happening in the real world. But every now and then something kind of flip-flops from being fictional to being part of the real world, being having an impact on the real world, like more so than maybe even some of the other stuff we've covered on here. I mean, yeah, sure. Allegedly, Bigfoot has a body count. Allegedly, but we don't know. You know, and maybe these people who committed these atrocities were possessed by demons, is often claimed in folklore and religious text about criminals of the past, werewolves and demons, and people so possessed that they could only have been overcome by the spirit of some bestial monster that once was the word bestial, anyway, some monster that caused them to commit some atrocity. And then we move into the 20th century, and they start talking about, you start getting things like serial killers, right? People have a lot of interest in serial killers and the psychosis that causes people to do these things, to commit like horrific acts on their fellow man. And it becomes almost instinct to mythologize. I'm gonna trip over my words left and right today. Mythologize these figures, right? So, and then get into creating fictional ones, and I grew up with loving fictional monsters and whatnot. Dracula, of course, vampires. Always loved vampires. Jason Voorhees. I always had a weird, like, kind of pseudo crush on Jason Voorhees that I don't want to explain here. It's this weird dynamic. That's the same thing with Swamp Thing. I don't know what it is. Don't analyze me over the internet, but with these monstrous figures. But the paranormal aspect of them was always the fun part of it for me too. And today's pop culture and modern culture, if you will, in the 21st century, we've had something kind of take over that, and it's called a creepypasta. I don't know if y'all know what a creepypasta is or not, but we're gonna talk about creepypasta today. Creepypasta is basically folklore, right? It's deliberate folklore. It's folklore that finds its way into our society, into our culture, under its own kind of willpower. And these are posts from a guy named Victor Surge. Now, Victor Surge posts on this forum. It's called somethingawful.com. And one of there's porn for everything. We've talked about Jeff the Talking Mongoose plenty of time. I play that Eighth Wonder of the World video from time to time. Paul, I see you asking about your near-death experience chat on your channel. No, I did not see that. I'll have to go check it out. Yeah, but Slender Man kills us already. Kills us. Kill. Fog rolled in at 3 p.m. It appeared at 3:17. Mark and Evan went outside. Couldn't cover them. Thick screams and fog too thick screams and sounds like a baby laughing. Ooh, that's creepy. I love the aesthetics of a creepy baby laughing in the middle of the night. was that meme that nothing's more endearing than the sound of a child's laughter, than except for when it's the middle of the night. You don't have any kids. Anyway, we're talking about Slender Man, if you can't tell today, and this is his. I don't know what you call this, his womb, I guess, where he was born. These are some of the earliest posts about Slender Man too. Yeah, this is, you know, a police department, police report. Got some blood splattered on it. Here's one of the earliest actual images with Slender Man, you know, obviously through like a screen of some kind, through some blinds, with all his arms out. That goes right along with that police report, I guess. But this thread quickly got just taken over by Slender Man. Here's more, like some children's art here. This is more from Victor. You got the kid with the balloons. You got a bee. So this tells you right now that I'm there, that I am with them, that the bumblebee is in the house, that this person's supposed to choose me or Slender Man, and they chose Slender Man because Slender Man has a balloon. Just because someone offers you a balloon and I sting you doesn't mean you shouldn't. You shouldn't pick me anyway. Might be gonna pick me though. Let's see. Man, my eyes are sore. I'm so sorry. I got like allergies or something going on behind my eyes. Ugh. I was complaining to Ben about it last night, and he was talking about maybe some treatments because it leads to headaches, and I don't want to have any more headaches. Oh man, Bugbot just stung Mark. Yeah, and you got like fake police reports with this, and more children's art. What I always liked about this children's art that Victor made here is that it does like kids actually do, and like the ground and the dark sky, and there's like a space in between, because kids separate the ground from the sky but don't know what to put in between. Like they don't know foreground, middle ground, background kind of stuff. Yeah. Good morning, Ember, too. I wanted to say hi to you, sweetie. Thank you. I'm sorry I cut your joke off earlier, or on the transposition the other night, and I wanted to say that publicly. I didn't mean to cut your video off before you could finish up that part was finished. I just clicked something too fast. I thought it was just a few seconds too fast. Anyway, I just wanted to say that. Thank you for showing up, though. This morning for some live from the Hive. I don't know, is Slender Man supposed to be in this one? I don't see him. But, yeah, we got some creepy tentacles. Good stuff. Takes over the whole thread, right? Pretty soon, everything on here is Slender Man related. But Slender Man broke free of this simple, tiny little corner of the internet because he had bigger plans. So, and who broke him free is kind of debatable, but in my opinion, it was Marble Hornets. So let me just real quick just give you a quick breakdown of that. So, I'm on the wrong screen for that too. This is Marble Hornets. Now, Marble Hornets, there was like found footage kind of channel. You see, 9 years ago was when they were releasing. So it's been about a decade ago since they were really doing their thing. But it really started even longer ago than that. With the Everyman Hybrid series that they did. And as you can see, this is broken down into entries. And we're not going to watch these, we're not going to watch all of them anyway. But there's ones that pop up in the video we're going to watch. But I think they took the idea pretty early on. You know, obviously it blew up in the paranormal and creepypasta community for a long time before. But now it's really taken on a life of its own. So let's explore. First we're going to watch this 5 real life Slender Man sightings caught on camera. I don't know why they say real life, and then they admit that some of these are from Marble Hornets, which is a known fictional production. I'm gonna get my meds out while this beginning part plays. Whew.
Hello everyone, my name is Sir Spooks, and today we'll take a look at 5 Slenderman sightings caught on camera. I did make a video like this before, but that video is no longer with us. So therefore I decided to do another one, this time with different sightings you might not have seen before. Thank you to these awesome viewers for suggesting the topic. As always, if you have any ideas for other caught on camera videos, feel free to leave them in the comments down below. With that said, let's start off the list.
Alright. Number 5!
Information on this video is very sparse. The only thing we're told is that it was filmed in an Indonesian forest and allegedly captures Slenderman on video. His long tentacles can be seen protruding from his back, and the camera starts to glitch severely once the camera points at his direction.
So naturally they do this like this glitching thing when they show him, right? So let's see, but it's gonna be on this one. I see what they're going for here, but it seems the head doesn't seem right to me. The tentacles look good though. The head seems almost semi-transparent, but
the cameraman then turns around, avoiding any eye contact with the disturbing figure.
All right, let's see. Glitch? Where? Okay, come on. Show me the Slender Man. Where is he? Oh, there he is. Is he right there? Oh, there he is. Okay. Let's watch that again. It's almost like, okay, so nothing's there. It goes over and then goes back. And then something's there moving. But
whoever filmed this video was unknown. They're either lost.
Could be just something shaking the camera. I worry about the background music these people use sometimes, you know, when I'm watching these. It's like two years down the road, I could get a copyright strike for it. It's ridiculous. For the things I cover and talk about, I'm getting copyright strikes from stuff from like years ago that I put up. Oh.
And this was the footage that was found, or it's a cleverly made hoax. Either way, it's truly creepy.
It just looks like maybe some tree being, maybe a palm tree being shaken to me. I don't know though. Or Photoshop. I mean, it does look kind of CG too, if you ask me.
You've probably seen this video before, as it's one of the more famous sightings. It is filmed from inside a car when a guy seems to have initially seen something outside. Due to this, he starts filming, and we can easily see a figure resembling Slenderman walking around outside a house. As he spots the creature, he begins saying "see" with a fear in his voice. Take a look.
I like this. Yeah. This is a good one. I like his little arms. They did a good job on that one.
What do you think? A man in a costume or the real Slenderman?
Yeah, the arms are like monkey. Like his arms are so long it makes him look like a gibbon. But making sure these legs are below the hill line, it doesn't really suffer too much from that. I wish honestly that they'd taken more of his body behind the hill line, just to give it more depth. But yeah, And I don't know. The hands. What do you think of the hands, though, guys? I mean, it's too short to be Slender Man. Yeah, that's why I'm saying the legs look too short. It looks like a gibbon, right? The gibbons can have their own Slender Man. A Slibbin Man. Slibbin Man. Gut sick Slender. Yeah, that's how Erica, that's who's gonna haunt the gibbons. Alright.
This video was created by a group of Spanish guys. In the video, they go to a school to investigate it. It begins during the day, but ends when it's dark out. Once they're inside the darkness of the school, they encounter the Slender Man multiple times. Take a look.
Slibbin. Alright.
Oh, estamos aquí. No.
Estamos en Anserious, chaval.
En Anserious.
Alright, they're going in the school.
Es intentar entrar, pero...
Sí, bro.
It's getting dark.
Hostia, ¿habéis visto esa silueta? Parece como de una mano.
Was that Slender Man looking out the window?
Entrar, pero...
Sí, bro.
Hostia, ¿habéis visto esa silueta? Parece como...
Is that supposed to be Slender Man in the window?
Intentar entrar, pero...
Sí, bro.
This middle
Hostia,
window.
¿habéis visto esa silueta?
Is he
Parece
standing
como
there or
de una
not?
mano.
Maybe there's somebody standing there, I can tell. Ah, captive desk. Hail Bigfoot.
Esto yo creo que tienen que traer a niños discapacitados o algo porque... Hostia. Es que esto da mucho...
See, music like this. That's what I'm talking about. This sounds like professional. Ah, there's... Jesus. I get it. Okay. Oh my goodness.
Venga, jodas, macho.
He's gonna keep coming. You better run. You don't stop running. You right there. He doesn't look tall enough there either, though. I gotta say, he looks pretty short, like child-sized almost. It's like the Slender Goblin. Yeah. His head should be almost to the ceiling. He looks like he's maybe at the most 6 foot tall. At the most, I don't think he's 6 foot tall even. Based on how tall lockers are, I think this guy is probably about maybe my height, maybe 5'10", or even shorter. Mm-hmm.
Now just imagine going inside a building.
Dios
Maybe
míos!
in a haunted building, only to find Slender Man inside. Whether or not they made this as a hoax, it's an eerie thought.
Alright, what's next?
This video is simply titled...
Alright, so this is why you cannot say 5 real life Slender Men caught on camera. Because this is Marble Hornets. And probably one of the best, the quintessential best done Slender Man, right? Which puts Slender Man on the map.
Entry 1 is actually the second video on the Marble Hornets channel. In the first video titled Introduction, they explain how these were all tapes given to the person behind the channel. The tapes were made during the production of an indie film, and some of them show an entity which they refer to as the operator. But we can clearly tell that they really showed the Slender Man. This video shows the very first encounter with the Slender Man caught on camera. It was uploaded in 2009 and is perhaps the most famous Slender Man video out there. Take a look.
Okay. So just looking out the window, and then Slender Man's on the porch, just standing there and just turns and looks. And that's it. Very subtle, very well done. You don't see enough of him to get the proportions are off.
On the Marble Hornets channel, there are many other scary sightings of Slender Man, but
now the first video the Marble Hornets did with him in there, it's just a still. This is the one where it's actually a video, right, where it's a person that's actually moving. The first one, I guess, pushing the car on the Everyman hybrid. But regardless, it's like it's produced. They know they were making a like a found footage type project. So this isn't some kind of, it may be real, it may not. They say they got this from, that's part of the production. It's like they got the producer was given this from so and so. It's just the same as the, you know, that we found this in a backpack in the woods. These tapes.
For this video, I wanted to show the one that started it all. This video comes from Russia. It takes place inside a snowy forest where
now that's good, a well-proportioned Slender Man right there. That is what I'm looking for. And then when he turns, he can, all his arms can go or whatever. Yeah, that's fine if they do that. But this is a well-proportioned Slender Man. I'm here for it.
guys are filming. Since they speak Russian, I have no idea why they recorded in the first place. But what they capture on video is truly terrifying. At one point in the video, one of the guys uses a stick to draw the Slender Man or operate a symbol in the snow. This allegedly summons him, but they don't seem to believe it. Immediately after drawing the circle and the X in the middle, Slender Man can be seen behind the guy who drew the symbol. What follows is quite disturbing.
Пойди в поле, нарисуй круг.
Так.
Ну, он пошел, нарисовал.
Да.
I don't know what it is about Russia, but they produce the most out there, bizarro world, intentional hoaxes that you could ever hope for. They, yeah, Slender Man is business Squatch. It's Sasquatch takes off he goes and pulls it all off, and there's just Slender Man underneath, and he puts on his tie, puts on his suit jacket, and heads into the office. You think that he just makes his living running around in the woods? You're crazy. He's just like us. That's what he does for fun. There you go. But like I was saying, because the Russians are the ones who did the videos with the homunculi or homunculus, they made in the fish tank. I did that a long time ago, but we talked about it as like a, you know, it was they grew it from the egg and put it in the fish tank, and it grew and had an eye and stuff. It was really, really weird and creepy. The Russians did that with their homemade practical effects, and then the Russian guy with the hover scooter made from the material from beetle wings, from taking the patterns on the bottom of beetle wings and the material that they're made out of, and he made a hovercraft out of it. And they used their own little special effects systems to make it look real. You remember that episode? Yeah, I don't know.
Нападет и украдет. Просто там, типа, кружок, крестик, короче.
А, и он сам появился.
Ну, типа того.
Давай.
He's drawing the symbol.
А ты уверен, что это надо делать днем?
I don't know all the lore. There's a lot that got tied into it.
Тебе, наверное, это надо делать ночью при свечах и пентаграммы.
А, ну да.
Голову козла не забыть.
Давай.
И потом вот, короче, вот так вот. Типа, да? Оп. И типа, вот так.
Бу! Все.
Boo.
Ну все, мы нарисовали этот круг.
There goes the camera. You did it now.
Мне постоянно
There was the
сбивается.
Slender Man. Can we get it to freeze on that, I wonder?
Что-то, короче,
Пойдем-ка мы.
весело. Что-то, короче.
Мне постоянно сбивается.
Yep, there it was.
Рисовали этот круг.
Okay, so here we got him. Got him. So, the red tie. He always goes for the red tie. Maybe he's running for president on the Republican platform. He'll probably win. He's better than... I'd vote for him before Trump. I'd actually vote for Slender Man before Trump or Biden, if I'm being completely honest. Let's bring in the age of chaos. Alrighty. But look at this is a well-proportioned Slender Man. You got the Slender Man long arms. But his legs are long, too. That's important. His legs got to be long, too. So, if you can't pull that off, then just don't do a Slender Man. And his head can be amorphous like this, but it needs to be present.
Мне постоянно сбивается.
Что-то, короче,
Пойдем-ка мы.
весело, да?
Ни хрена не весело. Давай, поднимайся.
I'd have been like, nope, Slender Man. That was just part of my drawing, and pretending like I was drawing like a sun or something. I'd be like, no, I wasn't drawing that proxy symbol. I was drawing this. Sorry for the misunderstanding. Didn't mean to summon you. I wonder if it's like Hellraiser, you know? Oh, I didn't mean to summon you. I have to give him somebody else in my place. No way. I'd go. I'd have to go.
Очень смешно. Обохочешься.
There he is. Bring it.
Заметь, не заметит.
I like this Slender Man a lot. Did he have a gun though? Trying to pause it when he pulls and swings around. Right there. He's got something. It looks like he's holding a gun, but it could be, you know what, anything. I don't know. The way he's holding it, though. It's gone. It's gone.
After vanishing, you'd think he'd be gone for good, but then something else happens.
There we go. That is how you properly Slender Man, ladies and gentlemen.
And that was 5 real-life Slenderman sightings caught on camera.
But
If
you
want
know
to go
Marble
for what
Hornets
the
is
next
not
caught on
real
camera
life.
video
Stop
should be
saying that
about,
Marble Hornets
then
is
you can
real
go
life.
and follow.
Stop saying Marble Hornets is real life when we all know it's not. You know, the rest of these, like, they may or may not be. And that last one looked like a lot of CGI, but it was really well done.
Me on Twitter at @TheSearchBooks, where I will do polls for you guys to vote on. I always give thought different.
All right, so yeah, that's Slender Man and the history of Slender Man, but the problem with Slender Man was never Slender Man himself, it's that people took him too seriously. Now, unfortunately, this led to attempted murder, and recently that's why this is topical. The attackers came up for release and said the court said no. Let's listen to some of the testimony here about her reports.
At the time of the index offense, so May 31st of 2014, she was suffering from a condition which would qualify as a mental disease or defect as broadly defined by the Wisconsin jury instructions. And I also concluded that because of symptoms of that condition, she was rendered to lack substantial capacity to appreciate wrongfulness or conform her conduct to the requirements of the law, and that there was support for her plea in this case.
And what was the mental condition that you diagnosed her as suffering from at that time?
As I recall, the mental condition was unspecified schizophrenia spectrum and other psychotic disorder.
That institution-based risk assessment also included some statements that you found concerning, and I'm talking about October 24th of 2023. Do you remember that?
Yes.
And what was concerning about some statements she made during that assessment?
What was concerning was the content of them and the topic that they referenced.
And please explain that.
Perhaps it's best if I quote the record.
Please.
So the comment she made during an individual therapy session, kind of an emotion-charged individual therapy session, in which Ms. Geiser has invested herself. So she's done a lot of work in individual therapy.
Yes, very, very recent. She came up for release.
But the comments that were memorialized in the clinical notes from the session on October 24th included, quote, "How do you think I was able to repeatedly stab my best friend and face," referring to the co-defendant. "Thought she was all the brains. I was pulling her along too. I didn't care. I couldn't care. I've never known how to care." End of quote.
That's something that stood out to you in your review of the records, true?
It stood out. I wasn't sure how to put context to it. So I knew, for example, that that had been said. I acknowledged in my report that that could have been merely emotion-charged comments made in the face or in the context of therapy, which sometimes happens for anyone who's been in therapy would know. On the other hand, this is quite recent to petitioning for conditional release and suggests, at least in that moment, a callous perception of herself. She later talked with her therapist about that and put that in terms of a question. So she reframed it and said, how could I have cared if I did this to my best friend?
In and of itself, that doesn't make her a risk in the community. The resistance that she has displayed across time to the interventions that are available to her, and her tendency to come at those with a pretty negative attitude, it raises concerns about, one, her insight and her judgment, but then also about her motivations and willingness to comply with interventions available to her in the community. So there's a pattern that has been noted across years of her institutional course of being resistant to different, whether it's medical or therapeutic interventions that have been proposed to help benefit her.
So it sounds like maybe she's been a bit of a troublesome patient too, so.
Various ways. Concerning at this point is that there has been uncertainty raised regarding how she came to come to that particular violent.
Oh, it looks like girl's losing her hair. Eek. This is probably rough in there. She's probably dealing with, like, I mean, yeah, woo.
Offense. So it's hard to predict without having a better understanding of that past history of violence. It's hard to predict the future. Of more concern to me, though, is that throughout the records, she continues to be an individual who experiences prominent symptoms of mood instability.
Yeah, the whole thing is sad.
Very much trauma-specific or characteristic symptoms. Those remain.
Yeah, this is actually the one who did the stabbing. The other girl, I believe, is free, and the girl who got stabbed is like living her life and stuff now.
Influential on a daily basis for her, and have compromised her ability to withstand even the stressors within that close supportive environment of the institution. And I have concerns of if she's having a hard time with her symptoms currently in the community, she's going to be facing stressors that are potentially significantly more complicated, and she won't have direct access to her treatment providers who at this point are closely monitoring her and intervene almost immediately when she's experiencing distress.
Yeah, so that was that's the verdict. They said she's not ready for release. Now, that's not the only, body count that the Slender Man has. There's also suicides within the Sioux Nation, really. Because this was the Slender Man, they just tether it right in with their native mythology, and it's actually has some documentation of inspiring people to take their own lives. Let me talk about, before we wrap this section up here, we're going to talk about Walking Sam, who is similar to Slender Man and may have, to some extent, inspiration for his cultural presence. As I write this article, my heart breaks, as my people are in crisis. People as young as 12 years old are taking their lives out of fear of an urban legend coming to life, commonly known as Walking Sam. In order to understand how Walking Sam came about, you must first be told about the shadow people, or the stick people, which is what my father called them. Growing up, young native children are told about these shadow people, who are dark, demonic forces that stalk reservations and convince their prey that they are not worthy of life. For the Pine Ridge Indian Reservation of South Dakota, these shadow people took the form of Walking Sam. He has been described as a 7-foot-tall man with no mouth and wanders the land at night carrying the bodies of Lakota men and women. Pine Ridge has been hit by the legend of this haunting figure, with reports saying that he has been strongly encouraging young tribal members to take their lives because they are not worthy of the company of others. As an alarming amount of suicide attempts have been reported since December, this with the recorded number as being 102. So far, 9 people have passed away, as one as young as 12. This isn't like current or anything. This is just something that came up. This is from 2015. So this has been back when Slender Man was hype was at its peak, but it boiled over into other cultures too. Let's read on. These suicide attempts aren't done alone. They are even happening within groups of children. Pastor John Tubles discovered a plan for a group of children to commit suicide, grabbed a group of adults, and went to sit right outside of town. Luckily, they caught the group of teenagers before it happened and were able to take the noose and get the teens help. They all had their own nooses. Dang, that's crazy. There was another attempt reported of a group of girls caught right before too. There's a lot of anecdote here. I don't know. Kids doing weird stuff in the woods and whatnot, but I mean, we did weird stuff in the woods when we were kids too. We didn't kill anybody or ourselves though, but we didn't do weird stuff, hang stuff in the trees and whatnot, to try to scare people. At a meeting for the tribal council at the Cheyenne River Sioux Reservation, many stressed their concerns about Walking Sam. One elder woman even begged for help from the torment Walking Sam was bringing them. She claimed that he can be seen, he can be picked up on a police scanner, but he still cannot be caught or stopped. Many of you reading this may question why adults would believe in this ghost haunting. It's important to understand the strong connection to the land, creatures, and every living thing the Sioux people have, especially the Lakota, who have an especially strong spirituality. Their connection to the land gives them an unbreakable tie to their past. Once that is filled with pain, this honorific past is remembered through their land. As they remember the thousands who have perished on this land, it fuels their soul for more passion to protect it. There's another reason why these mass suicide attempts may be happening. The reservation that the tribe lives on is in extreme poverty. The majority of the land is unable to support crop growth, and there is very little clean water. The infant mortality rate is reported to be at a record high, and out of those children who get a chance to grow up, an astonishing amount of them are being taken away and put into the foster care system because of the Indian Child Welfare Act. There's little to live for, and the life expectancy is the lowest in the Western Hemisphere besides Haiti. The reservation is hurting, trying to survive but losing. Many of the tribes are turning to alcoholism to help them deal with the horrible way of life. I wouldn't say it's a horrible way of life, it's a horrible condition of life, maybe. It's nothing to do with the way they want to live, it's the way that we've sanctioned them off into the uninhabitable regions of the country. The regions of the country that can't support life without artificial external support. And then we're like, why can't you take care of them? Look at these Native Americans. They can't take care of themselves. They're all in poverty when we're not here to give them handouts. Because you put them in a place where nothing can grow. Right? Where they can't prosper. And you're like, oh, why aren't they prospering? Why don't you fucking live in the Badlands and decide if you prosper, buddy? Sorry, I'm getting off on a tangent about racism. What's even more unfortunate is that they have not been receiving much help from others until recently in April, when the White House stepped in to help recover the plummeting economy. Besides this recent outreach, the natives have instead been victims of cruel acts of racism. For example, there was one account where students and teachers were drenched in beer while attending a hockey game outside the reservation. Additionally, many children are being bullied both on the internet and in person. In fact, one of the 9 who passed away, a female, was a victim of a racist act, being called a filthy Indian shortly before her death. As victims of oppression, this is not surprising that their children are seeing life as more of a burden than a pleasure. I beg those reading this to stop and look at the tribes look at the way the tribes are being treated. As a member of Cheyenne River Sioux, which is near Pine Ridge, I heard as they are suffering, as they are begging for help. I do not know if Walking Sam can be stopped, but I do know that we can try to help protect them. We can give them a reason to live and a candle of hope for them to hold in the dark and keep them from running into the Walking Sam. So yeah, I figured that was just a nice image or nice message to end things on, is that, you know, I know the Slender Man stuff and the killing and whatnot, but there's actually stuff that we can do to help people that are really suffering from, you know, from this. There are people out, a group of people right here in our country that need help. You know, within the borders of the United States, there are nations in poverty. Just as much poverty as any other nation in the Western world. And the people that live in those nations are struggling. The children are looking at a bleak future and taking the easy way out. And it is an easy way out. The trying is hard. It'll always be hard. And it's always the hardest path to take, but we need to protect the next generation. Next generation is suffering in these little nations within our nation that just go ignored and unnoticed. But Walking Sam, whether you want to consider him a personification of this depression or an evil spirit, needs to be stopped. Something needs to be done. As far as the Slender Man goes, I think the Slender Man's, hopefully his body count is over. Hopefully we can take Slender Man as a lesson. It's a lesson what not to take too seriously when we see it on the internet. Are there people that believe Slender Man is a real entity? Or some kind of tulpa, like a thought form brought to life by the mere amount of people who believe in its existence? An argument could be made for something like that, but we're talking about a piece of folklore, modern folklore, deliberate folklore with timestamps and a history of development and different veins of his life that weave through a tapestry of different videos and short stories. It's got a subgenre under as big as Cthulhu, but Slender Man's not real. But you know, kids in this country are suffering and dealing with emotional stressors that aren't being addressed in the public eye. So I think maybe we can use this as a red flag to say, hey, you know, let's deal with some mental health stuff. Let's actually make that a serious grab here. But you let me know what you think in the comments down below, because this is going to be the end for Cryptic Corner for today. Please remember to be kind and take care. We'll see you next time.